Hey guys, welcome to Sports Fan Network. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Travis.
And today we're going to be previewing the NFC Divisional Playoff game between the Atlanta Falcons and the Philadelphia Eagles. And Travis, this is a very interesting game because when you look at the matchup here, the Eagles are the top seed in the NFC, but they're still a 2.5 point underdogs to the rising Falcons team that got a big win against the Rams last week. This is the first time that a top seed in the playoffs will enter a playoff game as the underdog since 1975. So this is a very interesting matchup to say the least. Let's start off with the Eagles here. What are the keys for them in this game to pull out a win?
They need to take pressure off Nick Foles by running the ball with success. They traded for Jay Ajayi at the deadline, and they expected him to come over and be a big part of their running game. He needs to step up his game because obviously they lost Carson Wentz to that season-ending injury. They also have LeGarrette Blount, who's a very powerful physical back between the tackles, and they also have Corey Clement. So this is a very loaded running back group with a lot of talent. They complement each other very well. But recently, ever since Carson Wentz went down, that running game has suffered too. This is Nick Foles. This is a guy that's been a backup all season, and you're expecting him to start in the divisional home game playoff because of injury. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him. I think the best way to relieve that pressure is to run the ball with success.
Yeah, going on with that running game there, Carson Wentz was actually a very big part of the running game as well because he's so athletic as a player. They can do a lot of read option, run pass option stuff, and they just can't really do that with Nick Foles because he's not a mobile guy. He can't really run. But what Nick Foles can do, he's not a terrible passer. Back when he had Chip Kelly as his head coach, he had a big year, 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. They can kind of emulate that offensive scheme that they had back then with the Eagles. I mean, I heard Peterson, the head coach, was looking at film for that pass game to see what he can incorporate from that offense into their offense to help Nick Foles out. If they can do some of that, that'll go a long way for Nick Foles kind of generating some big passing plays in their offense because they have some weapons there with Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith, Nelson Aguilar on the outside, as well as their tight end, who's really good as well. So there's some weapons for this team on offense. They just need to allow Nick Foles to be comfortable back there, protect him, and like you said, just keep everything balanced with the running game. Lead with that first. Let Nick Foles get comfortable and make some big plays in the passing game.
Yeah, then the final key for the Eagles switching over to the defense is that their front seven needs to dominate for the Eagles. They're going into this game and they feel very disrespected. They feel like they're still a very good team that can make the Super Bowl. So this front seven needs to come out. They need to dominate, control the game, really interrupt the Falcons' passing game, get a lot of pressure on Matt Ryan, try to cause some turnovers, and really slow down the Atlanta Falcons' running game, which hasn't really done very well over the past few weeks. They have two very good running backs in Devontae Freeman and Tavon Coleman. This front seven is going to have a very big challenge up against them. They need to dominate. They're at home. They have the crowd behind them. If the Eagles are going to win this game, the Eagles' defense needs to play very good.
Yeah, Fletcher Cox and that crew, I mean, they've been a dominant unit all season long. They're one of the best front sevens, if not maybe the best front seven in the NFL. It's very debatable. There's a lot of great defensive fronts up there. But, to kind of transition to the Falcons' keys for this game because we talked about the Eagles' pass rush and what they can do to dominate the game, what they need to do in this game to dominate the game. The offensive line for the Atlanta Falcons really need to slow down the Eagles' pass rush because they've been flat out dominant this season, and they come in with a lot of different guys in a lot of different ways. They don't like the blitz a lot, but they love their pass rusher to scheme it. They love those guys to go uphill, attack the quarterback, and they've just been really good at it all season long. So the Atlanta Falcons offensive line, they really need to bring their A game in this one if they're going to have any success on offense.
Yeah, and the Eagles' defensive line is very deep. They got the rookie Nick Barnett. They got Chris Long on the defensive line. A lot of veteran presence mixed with rookie young player presence. So the offensive line is going to be a handful for the Falcons. But also, Matt Ryan needs to play like the 2016 MVP he was when he took the Atlanta Falcons to the Super Bowl last year. This year, he's really struggled. He's not throwing as many touchdown passes. His interception ratio is up this year. And he's kind of sputtered through like the last 2 or 3 games coming into the playoffs. He played all right last week. But really, if they're going to beat this Eagles team, Matt Ryan needs to play his 2016 MVP former self.
Yeah, statistically, he hasn't had as quite as good a year, obviously, as last season where he was just simply electric last season. But he's played a lot better as the season has gone along. He's been pretty efficient overall. And I don't think they necessarily need him to be the MVP like he was last season to win this game because Nick Foles on the other side is a backup quarterback. We're not really sure if he could give the Eagles a lot of offense going forward in this game. Matt Ryan just needs to be efficient, make the big plays when they're there, take care of the football, and I think that'll go a long way for the Falcons. But kind of going over to the defense, we talk about the Eagles pass rush. The Falcons pass rush has to show up in this game. Vic Beasley, McKinley, all those guys there, Dontari Poe as well. Those guys really need to do a good job of pressuring Nick Foles because, like we mentioned earlier, he's not a mobile guy like a Carson Wentz who could just tear your defense apart when you guys pressure him because he can just escape anything. He's so big and physical, too. Nick Foles is not that. He's a pure pocket passer. He's not going to leave the pocket very much. And if you can get pressure on him early on, especially up the middle, it's going to really disrupt his rhythm as a passer, and that can create a lot of turnovers for this defense.
Yeah, and talking about this defense, let's just talk about how fast this defense is. They got Deion Jones, a middle linebacker, and this guy can run sideline to sideline. He's a 4-down player. He's a great talent. He's great in coverage. He can blitz the passer. He's a great defender. You also got Keanu Neal, the safety, roaming over the middle. He's kind of like a Cam Chancellor from the Seattle Seahawks. He's a big hitter. He's a big presence in the middle of the field. He's going to make plays in the box. They also got Desmond Trufant, who's a lockdown corner. They didn't have him last year when they made the Super Bowl. He's going to probably be matched up against Nelson Aguilar or Alshon Jeffrey or maybe Torrey Smith. But he's going to have to have a big game, locking down those good wide receivers to slow down this Eagles offense. But with all that said, Andrew, what are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to win this game?
I'm going to go with the Falcons in this one. I feel like they have a blueprint for shutting down the opposing offense for the Eagles. They got to Jared Goff a lot last week and really made him struggle. Nick Foles is not as good as Jared Goff, at least this season. And Nick Foles, he's not a mobile guy, similar to Jared Goff wasn't a mobile guy. So I think they have a blueprint for, getting to the quarterback there. And I think that's going to, put a lot of pressure on Nick Foles. And I don't think he's going to be necessarily ready for it. He's got playoff experience and starting experience. This is a different type of team that he had when Chip Kelly was the coach. And I feel like the Falcons offense, they can do just enough. They can take care of the ball. Matt Ryan will have a pretty efficient day, in my opinion. And their running game is pretty good as well. So I have the Falcons in this one. It's going to be kind of a low-scoring affair, in my opinion, though, because the Eagles' defense is so good, and I just don't feel like their offense can generate enough plays.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game too. But I'm going to go with the Eagles on this one. I got to go with the home team. They've been disrespected all week, coming out as a 2.5-point underdogs. They got the mentality that no one believes in us, so we should just prove them wrong. I think the Falcons, they're going to be playing their second game on the road in 2 weeks. The Eagles also had a bye to have their guys get healthy. I think the Eagles are going to come in. They're going to prove why they're still a legitimate Super Bowl contender. I think the Eagles are going to win this game.
Yeah, well, that's our thoughts on the upcoming game between the Atlanta Falcons and the Philadelphia Eagles for the NFC Divisional Playoff round. Let us know what you guys think about this game in the comment section below. Who do you think is going to win? What are the keys to the game? Who's going to be the big players and playmakers in this game going forward? And just make sure to please leave a like and subscribe. That'll go a long way to helping us out. Thanks, guys, for watching.